The events in Egypt have been a culmination of a political process that we could say really began with the 2003 Iraq War. A lot of the proponents of the 2003 Iraq War said that a functioning democratic Iraq would spread democracy in the Middle East. I would argue against this vision that the neoconservative camp had in prior to the Iraq War. What I see is happening is that rather than democracy spreading because of Iraq, I think one of the reasons why the Egyptians, one of the reasons that led to the culmination of this revolt was that the Egyptian public felt kind of helpless in the face of an American invasion of a fellow Arab country. Having said that, combined with a huge rise of a generational gap, you have a large youth population that felt helpless in the future of Egypt, combined with rising unemployment. All those came together for a perfect storm. Now, usually most of the upheavals in the Middle East, in other words, ideological trends such as Arab nationalism, Islamism, usually began in Egypt. What was interesting for the first time in the history of the Middle East was that Egypt was not the trendsetter, it was Tunisia, followed by Egypt. But this is a question of why Egypt is so important. The question is, why is it so important? It's because usually events in Egypt tend to have ramifications for the entire region. If Arab nationalism and Islamism begins in Egypt and kind of has this proliferation effect, what happens in Egypt, if Mubarak does step down, will ultimately determine whether other countries in the Middle East, with leaders who have been there for more than 2 decades, whether they'll face a similar fate that Egypt did. This is what's the challenge posed to the region, because you have other countries, Libya, Syria, Yemen, Algeria. But in the case of Libya, Syria, and Yemen, these are republics with presidents. But they're more or less functioning like monarchies, just like Egypt did. You have a president for life who's ruling almost like he's a king, and was grooming his son to take over. And this was kind of a model. It was really unique to the Middle East. The only other country I could think of that has this model is North Korea, where it's officially a republic, but it's more dynastic. And this will be the outcome of the events in Egypt. Will the dynastic republic survive in the Middle East? And this is why the Syrians, Yemenis, Libyans, they're quite nervous about these events. And the date that where I'm giving this interview, we're on the cusp of a new direction. In the sense that for the first time this is a people power revolt. Most popular revolts, most revolutions in the Middle East, with the exception of Iran, were directed by the military. In other words, the military launches a coup. This is how Egypt became a republic, and the people follow. Now what we're seeing is can the opposite happen? Can the people launch a revolt and the military follow? And that's the direction where we are right now. That's going to be the future of the Middle East. Has power finally shifted to the masses? Can the masses finally have a say in the destiny of their country?